Okay, so we're going to take a quick overview of InDesign Creative Cloud. So you can see down below that I have InDesign CC open. I see it right here. And we can begin to take a look at the layout here. Now, right underneath here, I actually have a Photoshop document. So you see when I click it, it ends up going to Photoshop. So what I want to begin with, to not confuse anyone, is open up a new InDesign file. And it's going to be a very similar way. It's going to come as we've done in Illustrator and in Photoshop. So if you have familiarity with Illustrator and Photoshop, InDesign won't be so difficult. So we come to File, New. Now, we have a couple choices. We can choose a document, a book, a folio, or a library. We're going to really just stick with a document. So come to Document. Now, I want to go over this new document window. We can come on in and we have some of these different document presets. Let's keep it at default. Now, we are going to do print right now. And we can see we have these options for working with the web and also for digital publishing. If I was to come on down into digital publishing, we can see that the different page sizes come out. So we have the iPad, the iPhone, and we have the Kindle Fire Nook and the Android. So that's really wonderful. Now, that's something too that we'll keep our eye on, because as the resolution of the iPhone 5, now they have the iPad with Retina display, these numbers will change. So every once in a while we may have to go in and change them manually. Now, we see when we go to iPad or to web that we're working in pixels. For the sake of this overview, I'm going to just stick with print. And I've come into a letter size here. I'm sticking with letter, which is 8.5 by 11. Now, I could give it a number of columns if I'd like to. And margins. Now, I'm just going to keep them as they are for default right now. And what we'll see is that as we do this, the margins, what they have to do are pretty much the lines that are on the paper, how they're marked up on the paper. All right, and the gutter has to do with the space between the columns. So we come on in here and we hit OK. And we have, hold on, let's see here. Okay, let's sync those settings. All right, so what we see now, we have our screen. We have our InDesign screen. And let's take a look at some of these different windows that will be our main windows. Let's take a look around. So of course we have our toolbar, our wonderful toolbar. And on here we have a type tool. And we can see, just like in many of our other programs, when we click on the type tool, we have, now our type tool, we can do one of two things with our type tool. We can click and we can start to type, but we can also, and I click the other one, this one's type on a path. I just want the type tool. All right, so I could just click here. Actually, what I want to do is I can draw a type box, okay, and then I could start to type. Type tool. Okay, of course, then we can start to come in and we can come on up in here. We have all of these different windows. We can make our font bigger. We can work with the leading, with the tracking, the kerning, so many of these different pieces here. All right, so I just wanted to take a look at something that I didn't go over at the very beginning. So if I come on in, I want to start over, File, Document, New. This was an important piece, this whole idea of facing pages. So what does that mean? Well, if we want to have pages that are facing one another, we need to make sure that we check this box. Now, I did check that box. So let's take a look. If I open up my Pages window, you can see this would be my cover. And then, as I come on down into, if I was to create a new page, I can see that my pages are facing one another. So this would be my cover, and I can click, and I can see that I very easily go to those different pages as I click on to them. So that's another really important piece to take a look at. Continuing to work with our overview of this, our Pages window is a really important one. We can see we also have our layers, links, colors, stroke, color, swatches. Those are some of the main different windows. And you'll find as you come on down in through here, there's even more. And just like we've learned, if you've worked with Photoshop and Illustrator, sometimes there's several different ways to access the same material. The same is true for InDesign. So there's a brief overview of InDesign, And I will end there. Thanks for listening.